From Volusia to Chico, Williams Grove to Knoxville, and all dirt tracks in between and beyond. This is Winged Nation. One full hour of news and interviews with today's top dirt drivers. Now, your award-winning hosts, Steve Post and Kendra Jacobs.
Hello again. Welcome in. It's Winged Nation on MRN.com, talking sprint car racing, and we are loving every minute of it. We are glad you joined us here. Kendra Jacobs and Steve Post. Great program coming up for along the way. We're going to talk to Paul McMahan. Paul scored the big win at Lawrenceburg on Friday night with the World of Outlaws. We'll talk with Bud Kaeding. Of course, he was the big winner out at the Trophy Cup. And really cool race coming up this weekend. Yeah, stepping away from wing sprint cars a little bit, but not stepping away from our friend Jason Leffler. It is the Jason Leffler Memorial. We'll talk to Doug Stringer, who is putting that together a little bit later on. You can follow along with us at Wing Nation on Twitter and at Facebook.com/Wing Nation. And alongside, as I mentioned, Kendra Jacobs. Kendra, how are you?
I'm good. I actually ran in today with a minute to spare, Steve.
Oh, yeah, plenty of time. Plenty of time. You know, I got thinking, it's when we record this show, and a lot of you are listening and watching live now. Okay, it's Tuesday at noon.
Uh-huh.
And so just a little bit ago, Greg Wilson, our friend, he drives the Hercules tire car, was tweeting it's Parent-Teacher Day, and he is test driving a school bus today.
Is this going to be like a new side job?
I don't know. We might have to find out. But I got thinking, I said, what are drivers doing right now, today? I mean, we know Paul McMahon's getting ready to call in. He's probably at some airport somewhere. But, and so I just about 10 minutes ago, just out of the blue, said, hey, drivers, what are you doing right now? Now, we haven't had much reply, but if any of you are listening here, send us a note what you're doing on Twitter. But Ryan Taylor, of course, he's one of the Pennsylvania guys, preparing for the World of Outlaws at Port Royal and kind of working.
Kind of. So racing always comes first.
Yes.
And then you kind of work around the racing.
Okay, now, Brayden Mcmahon, who is a race car driver now.
Yes,
okay,
it's so cool to be able to say that.
We need to give a shout-out because Brayden forgot his headsets. So normally, apparently, he sits in the student building or whatever
like
it is.
Student center, right?
Student center or what it is. But today, the whole center's listening to Wing Nation.
Well, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like we're kind of teaching a class then. They're going to get Sprint Car 101.
The University Center
I
at college.
love that. That's awesome.
So hello to everyone at the University Center. And drivers along the way, if you care to share what you're doing right now, send us a note on Wing Nation at Twitter. Let's take a look at the Valco Racing Wheels results page.
They're
Kendra.
getting smaller, Steve.
I know they are. There's not as many results, that's for sure. Trophy Cup was the big one this past weekend. And the winner of the overall winner was Bud Kaeding, and which was really, really cool. We'll talk about that in a minute. Thursday's program, which was Friday afternoon, they had 2 shows in one day.
Well, it never rains in California. They're going through a drought. They schedule one of the biggest races of the season out there, and it pours rain on Thursday. So canceled Thursday's prelim night, and I think they ended up doing like 14 straight hours of racing on Friday.
They did a show in the afternoon, reworked the track, and did a show at night.
And they said the track was perfect.
Yeah.
Like not a single even glimpse of rubber laid down. Perfect racing all night long. Rico Abreu won.
The Thursday night program was Friday afternoon.
And I believe Bud
Kaeding won on
Friday. Yeah.
The Friday show. And then Saturday's race was won by T-Mac. But with the point system, and we talked about this last year, the overall champion, $20,000, was Bud Kaeding over Carson Macedo and Jason Myers. So really, really cool, and over $100,000 to Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think they said in the past 10 years it's like 1.2 million raised for Make-A-Wish.
It's amazing.
It's incredible moments. We talk about it all the time with Kick It and our Kick It driver of the week. When you take your passion in racing, which we all just love it, and then turn it into something really good that benefits everyone. So tip of the hat to everyone out there who makes this event work every year. For
the Kaeding family, and I've been interested in talking to Bud about this, it is their 8th Trophy Cup.
So cool.
However, Brent has 4. The father has 4. Tim has 3. And now Bud gets his first one.
Yeah, it's very – I wonder if that's haunted Bud. Like, hey, I got to be in that group. And now he is. So
really, really cool. So we'll talk to Bud a little bit later on. World of Outlaws, they were at Lawrenceburg Speedway. Paul McMahan, 3rd win of the season, 25th of the career. He won over Shane Stewart, Donnie Schatz, David Gravel, and Darren Pittman. We will talk to Paul in just a few moments, so look forward to that. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. presented by MAV TV, American Real. At the famed Devil's Bowl Speedway in Mesquite, Texas, Friday night, it was Wayne Johnson scoring the win. Saturday night, Sam Haferteep Jr. over Wayne Johnson and Matt Covington. The big news here is Wayne Johnson, a first and second place finish. And if you are Aaron Reitzel, and now granted, there's only one more weekend left for the Lucas Oil ASCS Tour. But if you're Aaron Reitzel, you've been leading the points all year long, here's your problem. Objects in the mirror, Wayne Johnson, are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, they're going to the Short Track Nationals at I-30 Speedway, and that one's a little bit tough because it's going to be such a stout field of cars. But Wayne Johnson had a great weekend, overtook Johnny Herrera for second in points, and I think Wayne Johnson 53, 48, something like that behind him. So Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour Championship going to go right down to the Short Track Nationals. Weekly racing, we had some of it scheduled up in Pennsylvania, but unfortunately all rained out. A tune-up race at Port, snow and sleet. Kendra, I think
that time.
Someone pointed this out, though. On Sunday, you had two races at tracks that don't normally host sprint cars. Susquehanna, and granted, they do once a month, and Path Valley, a party at the Path. Okay, in the snow and the sleet, between the two, 57 cars showed up. Between the two, in the snow and the sleet.
So 57 cars.
We're ready to go in October.
Good crowd, because we know how PA fans are.
In October, when everyone's tired, 57 cars.
I am hard on Pennsylvania fans.
I love
the
racing.
The passion
I agree with you.
for the racing up there.
I agree with you. There's no doubt about it. The fans can be knuckleheads at times. Oh, and, the fans can be knuckleheads at times, but the drivers show up. 57.
That's great.
I mean, really, really, unfortunately, it all got snowed and washed out.
There's really not other places I can think of that do double headers like that.
Right.
Where else can you do an afternoon show, pack up, load up, go to another place?
So crazy, crazy stuff. It really is.
Could they have done that?
No, they wouldn't have been able to. There was one or the other too. They were both late afternoon, early evening shows.
I thought they were doing those.
No, they weren't doing a doubleheader.
But they
either.
do those sometimes.
They used to. They haven't done them in a while. I
remember doing that with Dad.
Yeah.
We would do a day show, like a Sunday day show.
See, that's what I think would be cool. And obviously, Selinsgrove is in kind of a quandary right now as to who's going to run it. But with Selinsgrove being only about 30 minutes from Port, that would be awesome. That might have
been what we used to do. It was so fun because the drivers would load up and go, the teams, all the fans. It was like this caravan to the next track.
Yeah.
And getting a doubleheader in.
See, that would be so cool to see.
It was fun. That was really fun.
It would have to be Lincoln and the Grove are not too far apart. Or the Port and Selinsgrove are not too far apart.
There are other tracks across the country that could do that, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you look at hotbeds, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, there's got to be tracks that are within an hour away from each other that could do that and make a really awesome event out of it.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, two tracks working together, we talk about that all the time. Then you've got like this whole tailgating experience going on, this caravan parade of sorts.
Yep.
It would be really cool to do that.
There we go. We'll get our best people on it.
Yeah, we should.
We don't have.
Best? Oh, we don't really have.
We only have one best person. That's Craig, and he's got too much on his plate now.
Hey, Craig, you're on that.
Craig, you're on that.
Figure out how to promote two races in one day.
Craig Moore. Okay, good. It'll be done.
Yeah.
It'll be done next Saturday. Next Saturday, it'll be done. Okay. We need to step away. Oh, that was your Valco Wheels race results. Valco Wheels made by racers for racers. You can find out more at www.valco.com. When we come back, Paul's to the wall. Paul McMahon, he joins us next.
Hi, I'm Rico Aber, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
The new standard in race car screen printing and embroidery, Classic Ink USA. Full custom race car track swag apparel, quality customer service, and the industry's finest graphic designers, assuring quick turnaround and the highest customer satisfaction. See the latest designs at ClassicInkUSA.com, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, or call us 724-482-6224. Serving racers and their teams, all divisions, all over the world. Classic Ink USA, at the track and on your back.
Racers, that's who Valco Wheels are. That's who they know, and racing is what they know. Valco Wheels focuses oval track and grassroots racing, and understand racers need a quality wheel that fits your budget. With over 25 years experience, Valco Wheels produces the best product and give you face-to-face support and customer service at the track. Fast delivery, innovative products, problem solving. Find Valco Wheels at Valco.com, on Twitter or Facebook, or call Valco Wheels at 609-758-7013. Valco Wheels.
This is Winged Nation. Back to Steve and Kendra.
Couple more of our drivers checking in with us. Jake Waters trying to make some money for more parts for next year and waiting for Winged Nation to start. That was just a few minutes ago. And one of our USCS drivers, Sean Mott, he is working in South Carolina, but his dad took a picture working on the race car, and they are getting ready for USCS is coming through Carolinas again next weekend. So, and Sean Mott, by the way, he's the one that can hook you all up with the MAV TV if you want. He hooked the Beer Hill Matt up. Matt wanted MAV TV. And somehow he hooked up with Sean Mott, who Sean does DirecTV installations.
Yeah.
Sean from here in the Carolinas was able to hook Mac up in Pennsylvania, so Matt now gets DirecTV, which has MAV TV.
That's awesome.
So Sean Mott,
did you see
that's our
that
main
update too? That we're talking about midday races.
Yeah.
At Hawk Dizzle, BHG, which I'm guessing he's a Beer Hill Gang member,
Yep.
says Kevin Gobrecht won 3 races in less than 24 hours in either 97 or 98.
That's cool.
Lincoln in the afternoon, Port Royal at night, and Williams Grove the next afternoon.
Wow.
God,
That's quite the deal.
Pennsylvania's lucky.
That is quite the deal. Well, I'll tell you what, guy who picked off the win on Friday night up in Lawrenceburg, driving that CJB number 51, Paul McMahon joins us. Hello, Paul. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hi, Steve and Kendra. How you guys doing today?
We are fantastic. Congratulations. I listened to your post-race interview. It's been an up-and-down season, but, boy, has to be good to have a big upside on Friday night.
Oh, definitely. It's been a long time since our last win, and we've been struggling as bad as we've been all year long. And to come in and have a good race car like we had on there on Friday night and get a win, towards the end of the season, and hopefully we can get a few more before the season ends to end on a high note.
Do you feel like, you said you guys have been struggling a little bit, do you feel like you've made the turn there, that it goes beyond just Saturday night and winning, or Friday night and winning that race?
Well, I think, a couple weeks ago, we at Rolling Wheels, when we raced, we got better. And then, Barry and the guys keep working on the race car, trying to make it better every week. And we're getting better and better. There's progress being made each week so far. So, do I think we're over the hump? No, but I think we're heading in the right direction.
Paul, how tough is it to do this? We've had interesting conversations this summer for whatever reason. Conversation with Kendra's dad, Kenny, and conversation with Brad Doty on and they had actually good years, the years that Steve Kinzer won like 827 races and everything. How tough is it to be struggling a little bit? And, of course, you see that stinking 15 car just doing what they're doing. How tough is it just to keep everyone pumped up and being motivated during this year?
It's definitely a hard thing to do. We all try to, take it one day at a time, and when you have a bad day, you try to forget about it. But when you have bad weeks, bad months, it rolls over, and it gets tough on the guys. And you get friction in the trailer, and then it starts. No one's pointing fingers in our trailer, but our attitudes, kind of go like with our racing. They were going up and down, and seeing Donnie win every week gets very frustrating. And then, last 2 years we were pretty successful. 2 years ago, if Donnie or if Darren and Donnie have a normal year, we would be right there in the championship, but we finished third. And the next year is kind of the same way. And this year Donnie's just unconsciously good. And it's very frustrating to see him win as many races as he has. But, it's because they are that good, and we're all trying to get there.
When you have years like this, and we just talked about, you feel like you guys are making progress, at this point, are you looking forward to the season ending and regrouping for 2016, or are you wishing you had about 3 more months to get it all figured out before that break?
No, actually, I've been saying since the National Open that I just can't wait for November 7th to get here so I can hit the reset button and start fresh January 1. We'll keep working throughout the winter to make our race cars better, but I'm definitely looking forward to the end of the season to get the season over with and start fresh in 2016.
Well, no doubt. It's been one of those seasons, but good to pick up the win on Friday night at Lawrenceburg, and good doing that moving forward. Now, let me get this right, okay? I'm trying to figure the McMahon family out, okay? You were there winning. Your dad and your son were there with you, but Jan was on a cruise?
Yeah. Jan sells this makeup stuff unique that she won a free cruise on, and it just it happened to be a weekend that I was racing, and so she got to take her sister on this cruise to Jamaica, and I had to stay home and work.
Well, isn't that how it's supposed to go? I mean, the wife should have.
Well, I mean, that's how, I always tell everybody when Jan's not at the races that she's at, somebody in the family's got to work. So this time she's the one on vacation, and I actually had to go to work.
What do they say? Happy wife, happy life. So
as
long as
exactly
Jan's happy, everything's good.
So
that is a true statement.
So you won the race, but then now Saturday you spent a little time on the golf course, right?
Yeah, me and Brayden, he came home for the weekend, so it was nice to have him home, and we decided that it was a nice sunny day here in Nashville, and we decided to go out and, I would say, hit a few balls, but I would say we lost a lot of balls on the golf course. And but it's always enjoyable to spend my day with my son. I don't get to see very much anymore, so it was a great day It was an odd day being home on a Saturday afternoon and not racing somewhere during race season, but it was very relaxing also.
Well, speaking of Brayden, we were talking about how now we can introduce Brayden as a driver. How does that feel for you being the dad and trying to keep up with him this year when he was racing out in California?
It was tough. The first night that he ever drove a race car, unfortunately, but fortunately, we got rained out. And so I was able to watch it on race monitor. I was a nervous wreck, not doing very well thinking about him racing. And then it got better and better for me until he came to Gold Cup to race with us, and then all the nerves came back. It wasn't as much about him racing as it was him racing, being at the same racetrack as I'm at the same time, and me more concerned about him making a mistake and doing something to one of the outlaw guys. But he has every right, just like anybody else that starts racing, to be out there on the racetrack. We all had to start somewhere, and it was good to finally see him race in person. But I'm not really sure if I want him doing it, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's very fair. I mean, I can't imagine it. I really can't, and especially someone who knows it so inherently and knows the struggles, knows the challenges, and knows what at times a great life it can be, but at times a very difficult life it can be as well.
Definitely, it's not. This sport is not for the faint of heart. You gotta be able to. You gotta have very thick skin, very big shoulders, and be able to forget about yesterday. Because no matter if you win or lose, you still gotta come back the next day and do it again. So this is not. It's not an easy sport. You're gone a lot, and I'm sending him to school to hopefully get a good education so he can do something other than drive a race car for a living.
And we talk to drivers all the time that say they never think of the dangers of the sport when they get in there, although unfortunately we do experience injuries from time to time. When you're thinking of Brayden and you say, I really don't want him to go into the sport necessarily, is it because of the danger of the sport or is it because of the instability of the lifestyle?
A little bit of both. We're safer in the race cars than we are driving down the highway, but the stability of racing, there is none. I mean, you could be out of a job in the middle of a week. It doesn't matter. And it's a tough life. It's, for the younger generation, younger kids racing, them growing up, not knowing how to deal with the instability of it. Me, I'm older now, and 15 years ago, I thought racing was life and death. Now it's just, I'm fortunate to get to do what I love to do, and it could all end tomorrow whether I get injured or I don't have a ride available to me anymore. So I'm to the point in my life that I still love what I do. I still think I can win races and win championships, but in the same sense, if it all ended tomorrow, I wouldn't be upset about nothing of what I've accomplished in racing.
It's been amazing. It really has. But we're not ready for that, though.
No,
We can't have that happen tomorrow. You got to go to Port Royal and Weedsport this weekend. Tell us about the big half mile, the Speed Palace at Port Royal, and what you're looking for as you get into there.
Really looking forward to going back to Port Royal. Steve and the guys have done a phenomenal job making that racetrack what it is now. The Speed Palace. Because before I used to dread going to Port Royal, and now I enjoy going there. it's a big, fast half mile that's very wide, very well lit up now, and usually puts on a pretty good race.
And then Weed Sport on Sunday.
Weed Sport, not a big fan of Weed Sport, but that is what it is. I always say the best thing in New York are the Yankees. Not a big fan of the Weed Sport racetrack. I mean, I only been there once, and we weren't very good, so that's probably why I have such a not looking forward to going there. But it's another race, it's another time to conquer what we've, fix what we didn't do last time, and hopefully have a good run there. So. It can always change in one day. You can hate one place and then you go back there one time and run well, and then all of a sudden you love it.
Well, I don't want to give too much away for our show that is going to air on MAV TV on Saturday, but we did a little unplugged questionnaire with Craig Delansky, and one of the questions is, who would you most want to eat dinner with, or would most want you to cook dinner?
Yeah, cook.
And he said you. He said Paul McMahon's a fantastic cook, so we got to know, what's your specialty?
I do a little bit of everything. I've got my tri-tip's my special thing. I love cooking my tri-tip, but I just got me a new barbecue with a smoker on it. So I'm starting to smoke some ribs and some brisket, and just trying to get better every day at cooking. I enjoy my barbecue. It's if you got the barbecue out, it means you got a cold beer in your hand. So it's always a good day when that's happening.
Or a margarita.
Absolutely.
Margaritas are right. Got Mexicans margaritas. That was last Monday.
Nice.
There we go.
I think we could find a smoker during World Finals. Steve.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean,
we might have to work on this. Yeah, there might be a little
little barbecue cook-off.
Yeah,
because our producer Craig Moore does it too. I mean, we could.
Yeah, Craig Moore. Yeah, it's ridiculous what he does.
And I think we would just be the taste testers.
I'll be a taste tester.
Exactly. I'm in.
All right, Paul, we appreciate it. My gosh, congratulations on that win on Friday night. Continued success. Go get another one or two here over before we get done with the season. But thanks for the time. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me on the show today, guys. Have a good day.
There we go. That's Paul McMahon joining us. He joins us on the Classic Ink at Screen Printing and Embroidery guest line. Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery. More than just T-shirts and sweatshirts, hoodies, towels, golf balls. You can get shorts and hats, all kinds of stuff. More than racing stuff, corporate stuff, other sports, school events, special events. ClassicInkUSA.com. It's ClassicInkUSA.com. Love chatting with Paul McMahon.
He's so chill.
He just is so cool.
He really is, and I love hearing him from the father standpoint, because before this year we haven't gotten that viewpoint from him.
Right. So
it's really interesting to say, okay, tables turned. Mm-hmm. What do you worry about? You don't worry about anything when you're in the car. It's just life. But when it's your child, it's totally different.
And we look at the stability in the sport, and I'm telling you, and I've shared this before, and now I probably haven't shared in the last year or two because it was 4 years ago. I remember going to Volusia and Bubba Raceway Park for the All-Stars, and he was driving Tom Book's number 13, and he was there all by himself. I walked over, and I'm like looking, and I see a driver's suit out from under the car. He's doing a rear end change on the car himself. So you talk about that stability and that hard work, and I'm just like, there's a guy that wants it bad.
Well, Paul was one of those first drivers we talked to that was piecing. Remember when we don't hear about it as much anymore, but remember when drivers were really piecing together schedules?
Yes,
so they'd have
exactly, you're right.
This car for 10 races and this car for 15, and then I flew here. Paul was really the first driver that did that.
Because he wanted it so bad.
Work.
Exactly.
Yes.
He wanted it so bad, and it's just great to see, get the results, get the win, and pull that CJB number 51 car into victory lane. We need to step away. When we come back, we're going west. Bud Kaeding, he joins us next.
Hey, this is Donnie Schatz, and you're listening to Kendra and Steve on Wing Nation, here on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
A dead battery can leave you stranded, so get yours tested for free during Superstart Battery Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Need a replacement? Purchase a Superstart Extreme or Superstart Platinum battery and get up to $25 in O'Reilly gift cards after a mail-in rebate. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. The American Sprint Car Series returns for its 24th year. Over 150 events across national and regional schedules, 56 cities, 16 states, and some of the sport's best like Herrera, Swindell, Hafertepe, and Reitzel, along with the next generation of stars. See the full lineup of events at ASCSRacing.com. Get updates on Facebook and Twitter, and catch every Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour event live on RacingBoys.com.
I'm Danny Holcraver, now back to Wing Nation with Steve and Kendra.
Thank you, Danny. Welcome back, everyone. We are having an absolutely great time. We're glad you joined us. You know, we put this question out on Twitter about what are you doing? Okay, Dave Axton Racing says, getting ready to run with the World of Outlaws Sunday at Weedsport, fabulous Weedsport Speedway, okay? Best doubleheader of all time, and boy, he's right. I forgot about this one. This for the Dirt Modifieds. Labor Day, they would run in the afternoon the State Fair race at Syracuse, and then that night over at Rolling Wheels. So I love that doubleheader idea. So Dave Axton joining us here, and drivers were asking what you're doing on a Tuesday. Logan Wagner flying from Bedford, PA, to 2 locations in Virginia, then to North Carolina, then to northern Pennsylvania, and then back to Bedford, PA.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Logan's also a professional pilot during the week. So his life is pretty fast-moving and exciting.
And Tyler Brunke is in the middle of harvest in Nebraska. It's like he's in a tractor or a truck doing a harvest.
And that goes from really fast-moving life to a very slow-moving life.
Absolutely. Well, fast-moving, okay, was what was going on out at the Trophy Cup and scoring the win. 8th one for the Kaeding family, but first one for Bud. He joins us now. Bud Kaeding's on the line. Hello, Bud. Welcome to Wing Nation.
How are you guys doing today?
We are fantastic. Tell us about winning the Trophy Cup this past weekend.
It was pretty wild. From the rain out on Thursday to having the doubleheader on Friday. I mean, it made a long day. We were on the track at 12 o'clock, and I think the final checkered flag dropped at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So it made a long, strenuous day on not just the drivers and the teams, but the fans. You know, there was fans that were there for 13 hours. So all in all, it was a good weekend, though.
Now, wait a minute. We were just talking about how a doubleheader would be the coolest day ever. They basically got one. I think that's 13 straight hours of racing. That's a perfect day.
Yeah, don't let anybody tell you it can't be done. That's for sure.
Exactly. And the fans stuck around, a huge crowd for that race every year. Steve and I hear nothing but great things about Trophy Cup. From a competitor's perspective, what makes that race so awesome?
It's just geared around going forward. It's geared around racing. You know, the better you are, the further you start back pretty much every time you're on the track. So, you know, there's a lot of wrecks at it, but I mean, that's what the race is around. I mean, it's always go time, and that's what's created. I mean, if the Knoxville Nationals was on a quarter mile or a half mile, they'd have 50 wrecks, you know, in that span of the national weekend too, I think. So, you know, it's geared around racing, and you're always, every spot is a point, and every point is, you know, what you need to win the money.
You know, I saw a tweet this week from Paul Silva, who is Rico Aber's crew chief, and he said, I would really like them to try something new and change the Trophy Cup up and make it a 410 race. What are your thoughts on that?
It started as a 410 race. You know, the first couple of years they had it, it was 410s when it was at San Jose Speedway. Just unfortunately, like every area, there's not enough cars to support the event. You know, they wouldn't have, you know, this year the car count was down. There was only 70 cars. Normally we're at, I think, 90 to 100. But we wouldn't have 70 cars at a 410 Trophy Cup anymore.
Yeah, and we want those car counts to stay up. I mean, I'm on the thought process if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
It seems to me like it's a perfect event right now.
Yeah, I mean, Brad Doty was out here for it, and he, I talked to him Saturday after the race, and he's had nothing but good things to say about it. He said, you know, a lot of other places in the country, in Ohio, it's probably a fast idea to start in the back. Most of them would complain about it, but, you know, it's a great event. I mean, the Secretary family's done a good job putting it on. You know, the format seems to be changing quite a bit, but they're just trying to find a good formula for everything to work out. And but you know, there's a lot of complaints about this or that. But you know, if everything was perfect, we'd find something else to complain about.
No doubt, no doubt.
True?
Yeah, chatting with Bud Kaeding here on the program. Bud, we mentioned when we introduced you, this is the 8th one for the Kaeding family. Your father Brent has 4 wins. Your brother Tim has 3. Has to be a relief to get one for yourself, doesn't it?
Yes, especially nowadays. You know, I'm not no young buck anymore, and I'm getting older, and all these kids, you know, they got kids that are 14 racing with us now, and they're not too bad at what they're doing. So I'm going to have to deal with youth movement a heck of a lot sooner than my dad for sure did. And, it's a tough deal to win, and it's something I've been trying to win for a few years. I haven't got to race a whole lot of times just because I was in the Midwest during the Trophy Cup a lot of the time. So to finally win it, though, was definitely a relief.
Talk to us about the rest of the season. What goes on out on the West Coast? How many races are left? And do you wind down then, or do you find more races to put on your schedule?
No, we're definitely winding down. We got a race in Hanford this weekend with the King of the West Series, and then we're off on Halloween weekend. And then our finale pretty much for California wing racing is the weekend of the 7th at Stockton, and that's for the Civil War Series and the King of the West Series. So after that, everything's pretty much over with. They have the Oval Nationals, but the King of the West has scheduled our banquet against that race. So we'll see if I can get the car owners to decide to go to a race, not a banquet. So
there we go. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
From our point of view, it's like, really?
Yeah, what are your options here? I mean, it's like, is that a choice? Wow. Racing or banqueting. Those banquets are long, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
You could get a whole race in for the time of a banquet.
You could go to a race and still come back and catch the end of some of these banquets. Holy cow. I mean, people get on there, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy stuff. It really is.
Coming from two people who say
we
blah,
talk
blah,
for a living.
blah
Yeah,
all
we
the
talk for a
time.
living. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Racing, Bud, when you look at it, we're a couple years into the John Prentice era as far as King of the West and Civil War and Ocean and everything that's going on. How many races did you get a chance to run this year? Ballpark number? Is it so that a guy can do it out there fairly well?
Well, California, it's tough to make a living out here if you have a day job. So the racing part of it, it's tough to just be in, especially in the Bay Area where I'm at. It's a lot tougher. Some areas the cost of living is not so high. But as far as John Prentice, I mean, he works hard for the series. And again, there's people that don't like what he's doing. There's people that like what he's doing. So if it wasn't for John, I think sprint car racing would definitely be suffering a lot more out here in California. He does a lot for all of us. I mean, we have tracks to go to because of John, and we all have series to race in because of John. So, can't complain about that.
You talk about how you're not a young buck anymore, which I hate you saying that because we're the same age, so it hits home.
So you're 23, Bud, right?
Yes.
You're 23, right? Because Kendra's 23.
Yeah. Yeah, I have him so fooled. So your family, and we talked about this a little bit for Wing Nation on MAV TV this weekend, your family is royalty in California racing, really royalty in sprint car racing as a whole. When you think about your career on track winding down, what are your future plans? Do you have goals to stay in the sport of sprint car racing, or do you think you'll make a major change?
I mean, at some way or form or another, I'm always going to be attached to the sport. I mean, that's our family business as well, not just driving them, but we have a big store out here, and we sell to a lot of the teams across the country and across the world for that matter. So I'm always going to be a part of the sport. How long I'm going to race, I don't know. As long as I'm having fun and I have good car owners to support me to do it, or good sponsors to support me to do it, I don't see my time ending anytime soon.
Well,
I hope at least.
Yeah, exactly. Well, keep winning trophy cups, and things will progress well. That's definitely part of it for sure. Well, I'll tell you what, Bud. It's congratulations on that win. Pleasure chatting with you. Good luck this weekend with the King of the West Series, and we'll look forward to chatting down the road. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation. All
right, guys. Well, thanks again for having me on.
There we go. Man, it's great. Great to hear from Bud Kaeding. Great to see he won and got his first 8th for the family Trophy Cup victory. Really, really cool.
And that family is just so fun. I mean, they take racing and they make it a social, fun event. You cannot not enjoy life when you're hanging out with the Kaedings.
Really, really good. Good stuff. So congratulations to Bud. Let's shift gears a little bit from the West Coast to Knoxville, Iowa, where the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is located. Turn number 2 on the Marion County Fairgrounds. And talk a little bit about birthdays. We've got Ralph Parkinson Sr., who's no longer with us. His birthday was Sunday. A lot of current drivers. Brian Brown's birthday was Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, Brownie. Chad Kemenaugh's birthday is Wednesday, tomorrow. Dave Argabright, Lucas Wolf, Shane Cottle, Thursday. And our featured driver has a birthday on Saturday, Dave Blaney.
Hey, the Buckeye Bullet.
Yeah, Dave is the class of 2014, 1995 World of Outlaw champion. Listen to this. Talk about a season. 1997, He won the Knoxville Nationals, the historical big one, and the Gold Cup. You know, we talk about it this year, the big three. Nobody could win two of the big three this year with the National Open, with the Kings Royal, and with the Knoxville Nationals. Oh, Blaney whooped him in 87, and you know what he did in 88?
97.
Or 97. You know what he did in 98? Said goodbye. He didn't come back to defend because he went NASCAR racing.
He went NASCAR racing, that's right.
Which
he made
is
a big move in his career.
And it was the first time, and maybe still the only time in Knoxville Nationals history that the reigning winner was not there to defend his crown.
That is, I didn't think about that, but you're right. It's a very odd move to say, hey, I had the best year of my career. See you later.
Yeah, but I
mean,
it's
I
all
guess
worked
that's
out.
the way to go.
Well, yes, exactly, and it's all worked out.
Oh.
Because he's got a kid that is a rock star in NASCAR.
Unbelievable.
Ryan Blaney.
The talent of Ryan Blaney is incredible.
My gosh, third-generation racer, and all of that talent pointed
and we have missed out because we did not ever get to see that in a sprint car. I don't know if we ever will.
Well, we might. He
Wait,
he can't now.
Right.
That question came up. I did a hospitality event with Ryan Blaney this weekend at wherever we're at, Kansas.
You might make me very excited here,
okay.
Steve.
Now, Ryan's deal is he grew up in North Carolina.
Right.
Because Dave was here. He wasn't around sprint cars. Had he been around sprint cars, he likely would do it. He tested one of his dad's sprint cars. Ryan told the story. This goes back a couple years ago. He just signed with Penske. Tested one of his dad's sprint cars and was sitting in the truck. Of course, he's still a young kid. But he tested one of the sprint cars, and someone put something on social media about it. Didn't go over well. So he cannot run a sprint car now.
Right, which is becoming the standard. Let's not beat up on these NASCAR people for saying, please don't
and
do that.
And here's the problem. Ryan in a sprint car would be a raw rookie. You know, it's not like Tony Stewart jumping back into a sprint car or Casey Kane or Kyle Larson jumping back into a sprint car. Ryan would be like, all right, what is this? He'd be a raw rookie. But Ryan told us someday down the road, as this kind of wraps up a little bit, which we're talking about Ryan Blaney wrapping up.
We're talking
25
like 30
years from now, yeah. He would like to run a sprint car, though.
That would be so awesome.
He would like to run a sprint car.
That's very cool.
So Dave Blaney, of course, Uncle Dale, of course, outstanding as well. But Dave, class of 24, Dave's full story is at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum.
Ooh, getting choked up. The Hall of Fame does that to me, too.
Oh, yeah,
when
absolutely.
When I walk through the hall, I get choked up.
Exactly. You can find out more information at SprintCarHof.com. It's SprintCarHof.com. When we come back, folks, this is going to be great. We're going to talk about the Jason Leffler Memorial coming up this weekend. Stay with us.
This is Winged Nation on MRN.com. We'll be back talking more dirt with Steve and Kendra right after this.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa. Your destination for sprint car history. Check out the Salute to Champion Doug Wolfgang exhibit featuring 5 of Doug's sprint cars, all 5 of his winning Knoxville Nationals trophies, as well as helmets, uniforms, and other Wolfgang memorabilia. Also check out Damian Gardner's world's fastest sprint car that the Demon drove at 211 miles per hour at Bonneville. Open 7 days a week all year in the sprint car capital of the world, Knoxville, Iowa. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Back to Winged Nation. Here's Steve and Kendra.
Welcome back. Having a great time at Winged Nation, and we love that you're joining us here on the program. Joining us now on the program is a guy that I'll just right open and say did a little work with in the back years and years ago in our NASCAR careers, have remained friends and just have huge respect for. He owns a funny car team, Clay Milliken, their driver on the NHRA Tour, but also has a passion for short track racing. And through his course in NASCAR time, became friends and maybe owner, worked in management with Jason Leffler. Unfortunately, we know Jason's story where we tragically lost him a couple of years ago. And Doug Stringer is putting together the Jason Leffler Memorial again this year. Wanted to get Doug on to talk a little bit about this. So hello, Doug. Welcome to Winged Nation.
Hey, how are you doing, Postman?
I am fantastic. I really am. It's great to run into you in the track, talk to you on the phone, see you on Facebook, anywhere else. And it's really great to talk to you this week because I see you're building bleachers and grandstands for the big event this weekend.
Oh, yeah. We're expecting a pretty good crowd this weekend. Hopefully the big that we've had, I'm sure will be the race for Friday night. You still only charge $10 admission, and $20,000 to win, which is the largest admission purse in the United States that I know of. Looking forward to all the drivers coming up and all of our friends. Todd Braun, he comes up. He's a big part of it. He gives me a hand, and all the guys that kind of helped Jason's career move on. We all just get together up here the night before, and we celebrate his life. And then the next day we go out and we put on a race for him and try to raise some money for Charlie Dean for his education and his life is on for him. That's the main goal.
I mean, this is a very cool event, obviously raising a lot of money for Charlie Dean. What else goes on throughout the night besides racing that kind of honors Jason or helps raise money?
Well, of course, we have the standard 50-50 drawing. We take 100% of our front gate, and that gets donated to the trust. All the proceeds from the auction go to the trust. Last year at the auction alone, we were able to raise $18,000 to put towards the trust. And we just put on a really good show. I try to think back on the NASCAR days, the old Humpy Wheeler days. I mean, we blow some stuff up at the end of the night, which was a big deal for Jason. And just try to put on a real spectacular race. This year's race is co-sanctioned with Power Eye and USAC. And, both of those sanctioning bodies having a long heritage and history with Jason. So this will be the first year that they come together to work together on this event, and I'm really excited because both parties are great to work with.
Well, indeed, yeah, they are. They both are, and that just means the entire focus of the midget world will be there for your big event. The big event is at Wayne County Speedway in Wayne City, Illinois. It's this weekend on Friday night. And again, Doug, 100% of the front entrance will go to the Leffler front. That's amazing how you're able to pull that off.
It is. I mean, it's just what we're supposed to do. I felt that I bought this track right before Jason passed away. I had no clue what I was going to do with it. We run one race a year, and it's the Leffler Memorial, and it keeps getting bigger. We look forward to getting bigger next year. My biggest goal is, like you said earlier, keeping building stands so that we can bring more people in to raise more money. It really is a heartfelt event from start to finish. Last year, Great Clips driver Darren Pittman won, and that was surreal. So it's just a great event.
So many people come together to make this event happen, and all for Jason and Charlie. What was it about Jason Leffler that made everyone who worked with him just basically fall in love with him?
Oh, man. So Jason he's a hothead, and he'd go off on you 1 second, and the next minute he'd come back in with that little smile, that grin on his face, and go, "We're all right?"
Yeah.
Postman, you've seen it 100 times.
Yeah. As a reporter, as a guy, as part of a team, as everything else, you're right about that. Because because you're right. We have these drivers that come into our lives and out of our lives, and it's the natural rotation of the sport. I mean, the good news is we don't lose a lot of them like we lost Jason. But you're right. Jason's one of those guys that the way he did everything was bigger than life. But yeah, a lot of times it started with that fiery little spark plug that he was.
I got to spend Charlotte. I was at Charlotte at the last Outlaws race that he ran there, and for some reason that race really clicked with me. I thought Jason he had transformed into a father, which a lot of my past racers are doing now. But Jason was kind of a wild guy, but to see him with Charlie you didn't walk away with that. Wow, that was a great bond that he had, and a lot of the pictures that you'll see in our programs and that we use on different stuff we used to promote the event are of Charlie and Jason that night that I took with my phone.
Yeah, I think that's where that famous picture comes from that circulated with him
Right.
and Charlie up against the fence at Charlotte. It's just an incredible picture of him. You know, we kind of sat together on the first anniversary of his passing, and we all, did a shot of tequila because that was Jason's go-to.
Yeah.
And we told some of our favorite memories of Jason, and all of them are very funny. I mean, I could tell you some of mine with him, but it's not appropriate for on air. Doug, do you have a favorite memory of a good time with Jason?
That you could put on air.
Yeah, that you can say on air.
Yeah, I do, and the pictures of it line my hallway at my house. It was actually when Todd and Amy Braun got married. Jason and his current girlfriend at the time, Juliana, were at the wedding, and Jason danced, and then he ran through the room and karate chopped a huge ice sculpture and took off running through the hotel while security was chasing him.
Oh my God!
So, and Todd and all of us were like, I mean, something was going to happen that night. I mean, Todd was getting married, and it was a momentous occasion for all of us. But that is a memory that sticks on my head. And then the other one is a picture that I have in my hallway. After he got done doing that, he came back in and jumped on top of my back on the dance floor. And the rest is history. I've got some memories.
Well, luckily there wasn't much of him to support on your back.
No, it's
fiery
like
little
a leprechaun.
redhead. Yes.
Little leprechaun. That's great. That's great. Doug, we'll come back and give all the details about the race this week. I do want to touch base bigger picture stuff. How's the drag racing team going? How are things there?
The drag racing team with Clay Milliken and all those guys has been great. I've enjoyed doing it. It was a bucket list thing for me.
Yeah.
And it was something that came up. And my dad, is still alive. My mom's still alive. And I thought, it's been one of my dad's dreams too. So let's go try this. And we've been to the semifinals a few times this year. We've knocked out the number one cars. We've competed at a very high level. And I'm really proud of everybody. But I got to tell you, I went back to the NASCAR track last week because we had some business there, and I still love hanging around with Casey and everybody at Hendricks and JRM and watching that Great Clips car go around the track there. It still is a big thrill.
It is. It's good. We got it good on all fronts, that's for sure, Doug. More information on this event, Raceway NE County. Wayne County. I'm sorry. Race Wayne County. There we go. RaceWayneCounty.com. Of course, just Google Jason Leffler Memorial Race, and you can find out about it. Doug, is there anything else folks need to know that are coming out there this weekend?
Temperature's supposed to be in the 70s.
Wow.
It's going to be beautiful. We've got a great fireworks display to commemorate the race afterwards in Jason's honor. If you're around Thursday night, we have a dinner and a live and silent auction at Two Joe's. It's locally here, and just come make yourself at home and enjoy yourself.
Well, no doubt about it. You guys, I know, will have a big event, and look forward to see how it turns out this weekend, Doug. Always a pleasure to chat with you. Appreciate and respect what you're doing here on the memory of Jason for Charlie Dean, and best fortune for this weekend on a good race week out there.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you for the opportunity.
There we go. That is Doug Stringer joining us here on the program.
It's amazing. We talked last week on the show about how involved Todd Queering is in sprint car racing, but you've got to look at the exact same thing with Doug Stringer. I mean, his passion for all things racing is incredible, from his drag racing team to supporting Darren Pittman in the World of Outlaws
with
through
Great Clips program.
Through the Great Clips program with Casey Kane and NASCAR. Then this race, owning Wayne County Speedway in Illinois, hosting this race for Jason Leffler.
It's amazing.
I mean, across the board, he is a huge supporter of this sport that we should all be extremely thankful for.
Doug, I did, when I was doing some PR, Doug and our path, I did some stuff with Great Clips. And on our paths, that's where I met Doug. And just always have had this huge respect for him, and then got to meet his father. And his father, if there's a definition of salt of the earth, it's his dad. His dad is really cool. And so I walked into the PRI show last year, Okay, and I walk into the little press room there, not really knowing what's going on, and I see Doug there and his dad. I'm like, man, great to see you. He says, dude, I can't believe you're here today. And I said, what's that? He said, we got a big announcement. I said, what's that? And he said, well, we're going NHRA racing. And then Clay Milliken comes in, and this whole thing explodes. And here they've got this Top Fuel NHRA team. And I'm like, my gosh, it's just so cool to see a guy you respect, another of his dreams come true. And that's what Doug Stringer is. But you can hear his dreams come true because he's got his priorities right, and he's able to do things. Because his dreams have come true, he's able to do this Jason Leffler Memorial Race. We talk about a percentage of the proceeds going to the family. This is 100% of the gate.
It's amazing.
And he keeps the gate at $10 so people can afford to come. So it's fantastic.
And he, to me, is like the definition of living. Because there's a million reasons why you'd come up with, man, I want to own a drag team, but there's all these reasons why I shouldn't. Right. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. Yep. If I want to do it, my dad wants to do it, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it, and they do, and they do it well. So RaceWayneCounty.com is the website. Just Google in Jason Leffler Memorial Race to find out more. We need to step away. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
I'm Shane Stewart, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Improve fuel economy and restore power with Royal Purple Max Atomizer Fuel Injector Cleaner on sale now at O'Reilly Auto Parts for $4.99. Clean clogged injectors, save gas, and maximize engine performance with Royal Purple Max Atomizer Fuel Injector Cleaner for $4.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm NASCAR driver Jeff Gordon. Did you know that 43 children are diagnosed with cancer each and every day? That more children die from cancer than any other disease? Athletes of all ages are dedicating their stats to change these stats, and you can too. Visit JeffGordonChildren'sFoundation.org to become a Kick It champion. No matter what your sport, you can use your points, laps, or goals to change the odds for kids with cancer. Make your stats really count. Become a Kick It champion.
I'm Kerry Madsen. Now back to Wing Nation with Steve and Kendra.
Thank you, Kerry. We appreciate it. Kendra, it's that time. It is time for our Kick It Driver of the Week. What do you have?
Well, the one that got the most nominations this week is pretty interesting because it didn't necessarily turn out the way he wanted it to.
Okay.
So fans have nominated Shane Stewart as our Kick It Driver of the Week because he went out on a major limb Saturday night.
Yes, he did.
The Larson Marks team was the only World of Outlaws team to stick around for Saturday's USAC show, take the wing off their car, and try their hand at non-wing racing. And unfortunately, Steve, it ended on lap 1 of qualifying when Shane got quite a bit of airtime. But it did not change the fans' perspective of them staying at all. They said, he's got very big somethings to stay and attempt this.
Intestinal fortitude.
Yeah. Well, that's a great terminology. But he has not been in a non-wing car in 11 years.
Wow.
And the team all voted together. Hey, we're going to do it. Everybody had to be unanimous. They voted and said, we're going to do it. And not a single one of them is disappointed that they did it. They tried it, and the fans love them for it.
Yep.
So, for going out on that major limb and having that incredible, intestinal fortitude, he is our Kick It Driver of the Week.
All right, there we go. So Shane Stewart picks up the Kick It Driver of the Week. Upcoming races this weekend, Saturday night, Port Royal Speedway. Kendra, when I look at this season, and I am really shocked, although this will probably ignite it, okay? When you look at the rivalry, the Posse versus Outlaws, okay, I think Mother Nature is the big winner, okay? But do you realize this year that the Outlaws only have one win in Central Pennsylvania, and that was Donnie Schatz in May?
I'm surprised that the PA Posse is not shoving that stat down our throat
There's
every
only been
day.
one Outlaw win this year. Donnie Schatz won the May race, the Friday night May race. The Saturday night got rained out. Unfortunately, Mother Nature has ruled this year, but I think Donnie Schatz has been the only guy to win from the Outlaws. It's been pretty strong for the Posse. We'll see what happens at the Speed Palace. Sunday night, Weedsport Speedway in Weedsport, New York. King of the West Series, King Speedway in Hanford, California on Saturday night. Lernerville Speedway, the Steel City Stampede is this weekend. Season finale for all divisions, including the sprint cars.
One of my all-time favorite tracks.
Really?
By the way.
Yes. Friday night heat
Love
races,
Lernerville.
Saturday night features. The big one next weekend, Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour presented by MAV TV. It is the Short Track Nationals. It starts on Wednesday with the Short Track National Open, and then it goes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Every driver on the planet's going to be there.
Well, that's a World of Outlaws off weekend.
I know.
So
and
it might be interesting. I was going to say that's a side stomping ground.
Sides is going to be there, and there's a couple other World of Outlaw drivers. Sammy's going to be there. A couple other World of Outlaw drivers going to be there.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
worked out really well for them.
And that ASCS point battle, as we talked about, Wayne Johnson is coming like a rocket ship. Now,
so really, it's Reitzel, Johnson, and Herrera.
Johnny got surpassed by Wayne. Wayne won and finished second, and
Wow.
Wayne is tearing
at
Devil's Bowl. Wayne is tearing it up. And this battle could be good because it's sort of like when the Outlaws roll into Pennsylvania. You can have a good night and finish 18th.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so many outsiders that come in.
So it's really, really good. That's Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. You can find out more information at ASCS Racing for our friends at the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. And with that, let me see. I got that done. I think we're in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up what is becoming a winding down
I know. It's
season.
Weird, isn't it?
Steve, what is it? In 3 weeks, we have the Outlaws invade our
Right.
backyard.
Exactly. Going to be big for the
It's
World
going
Finals.
to be. I love that week.
That's great.
I mean,
isn't it?
not only do we get to sleep in our own beds, but it's kind of nice to have everyone here in
Yeah.
our town. I mean, May's fun, but they're really only here for like 24
yeah,
hours.
They fly in, and we've got all that NASCAR stuff going on.
Yeah, we have
around
a
us.
whole week here to be all about sprint car racing. I mean, there's that other dirt racing, that late model and modified stuff that I'm not a major fan of. But
that's what makes the
I
World
feel
Finals
like
so cool.
everything is sprint car racing in NASCAR country.
It'll be good
for a week.
It'll be good. Hey, this weekend, Lucas Oil, driver in the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour, Johnny Herrera.
Hollywood Herrera.
We find out why also.
Yes.
Joins us
Inquiring Minds.
on MAV TV. It's Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires on MAV TV. Johnny Herrera is our guest. So that is Saturday morning at 9:30, Saturday afternoon at 12:30. Sprint Car Saturday is what MAV TV has done now because they put ASCS, Knoxville Raceway, Dirt Dreams, Dirty 30, all of us on there on Saturday morning. So they do a really, really good job with that. So, and this weekend, well, of course, later on this week, we'll have Wing Nation Weekend presented by Hefner Racing Products with a driver to be determined joining us on that program. So, going to be big, that's for sure.
Well, good. Steve, it's good talking racing with you.
Great talking racing with you. It's our favorite time of the week.
Not many Tuesdays left with you this year.
I know, absolutely, but we've got...
we got some good stuff for what's left.
Yes, we do. That's for sure. Thanks to Paul McMahon, to Bud Kaeding, and Doug Stringer for joining us here on the program. More important than all of that, though, thank you for joining us here today.
You've been listening to the nation's premier winged sprint car radio program, Winged Nation. Tune in next Tuesday at noon for more talk from the dirt tracks. Winged Nation is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center or download from iTunes or Stitcher. Winged Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.